Hello and welcome to Film Companion South. In this episode, we're going to be talking about Saravanan's Udanpirappe, which stars Jyotika, Samudrakani, and Sasikumar. Now, the story is this: Jyotika and Sasikumar play siblings. They are estranged for a certain reason, and that reason is Samudrakani, who plays Jyotika's husband. Now, Sasikumar believes in violence. Samudrakani is a teacher and he's a pacifist. He loves peace. So the two don't get along after a point and the family separate. To tell you what kind of movie this is, let me give you an early scene. The scene where we first see Samudrakani. He is a teacher. He's of course a lover of peace, like I told you. There's a bunch of people, his colleagues. They're all discussing, who should get admission. And one of his colleagues points out that this girl should get admission because she has got high marks. But despite the fact that her father has put his thumbprint on the form, but Samudrakani says no. This girl is not eligible because if she cannot teach her own father to read and write, then how will she teach others? He says, Markamattu pakadiga, manasiyum parunga. Had he followed his own advice and looked at Sasikumar, the whole movie would have ended in 5 minutes because all you had to say is, avaroda violence mattu pakadinga, our manasiyum parunga. Because Sasikumar is doing violence only for the really good things, for people who hurt animals, or for people who talk about caste discrimination. But of course, we've got to drag it on, so we get a really random villain somewhere along the way and a very random screenplay. Now, consider Jyotika's introduction scene. It's a heroine introduction scene, right? It's a big film. So, what happens is a priest just suddenly appears out of nowhere and says, "Oh, this goddess statue is missing." And the very next moment is Jyotika's introduction scene, and she finds the statue of the goddess. And that's just it. The pre-scene was there just so that you can have the next scene of Jyotika emerging with the statue of the goddess, and it adds nothing at all to the story. That goddess never appears again. Now, it is perfectly okay to want to make an old-fashioned family formula movie. Sasikumar himself has acted in Vetrivel, which is a damn good example of an old-fashioned film that works really, really well. But Udanpirappe is old-fashioned in a really bad way, in the sense that the emotions exist solely at a surface level, and the biggest problem here is the overall blandness. The emotions are all at a surface level, the actors are all given very generic emotions to play. You don't feel anything because nothing has any depth at all. You don't feel the separation of the siblings, that is Jyotika and Sasikumar. You don't feel their separation, the fact that they are suffering being separated. You don't, even a major event like a boy's death leaves very little emotion in you. You actually don't react to it at all. So I told you there is one random villain, right? Apart from him, everybody is a good person. Like I said, even Sasikumar's violence is only for good causes. There is no dimension to any of the characters. I mean, it's just one-dimensional everywhere. Now, just consider this. Take Jyotika's character. Why not give her one scene where she has a confrontation with her husband Samudrakani about how unhappy she is about being separated from her brother? But then I don't know, that would make her more than one-dimensional. And here, this is the kind of movie that is content to show a frame in which Jyotika is standing here and behind her is an image of Mother Teresa. Yes, this is that kind of movie. I kept thinking throughout about Tamil cinema's greatest brother-sister story, Mullum Malarum. Just see how much tension is there at the end when Shobha has to decide between her brother and her lover. See how multidimensional the Rajinikanth character is. See how the early scenes of the film establish the closeness between the siblings, the brother and the sister. But in Udanpirappe, you just have to take for granted that this closeness exists because there is no character arc, nothing. So how odd that Mullum Malarum feels vital even today, like a film made even today. Just remove Sharad Babu's bell-bottoms and stuff like that, and that movie would work even today. Whereas Udanpirappe feels like something made in the 1970s. So that's it about Udanpirappe. If you like this review, do subscribe to Film Companion South and see you soon at the movies.